Yo, what's up guys, it's NLW here, back again with another episode of the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about all things wrestling this week, including AEW Dynamite, what's been going on in the build-up to WrestleMania, as well as some other stuff regarding the future of NLW, a couple of updates, and me nearly getting hacked. Oh my god, well, stay tuned to find out what happened there. But before we get into it, obviously like the video and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content, and also comment down below any questions you have for the question of the week segment, which we'll do at the end of this video, along with your Patreon shouts out, match and wrestler of the week, all that good stuff. And I was supposed to have a Cringe God on the podcast today, and we did talk for a little bit last night or the night before, just about a bunch of different stuff, and that would have made a good episode of the podcast. But obviously me just trying to figure out ways to record. I'm probably going to do it on Google Meets in the future. But I reckon I can probably get if they're not next week, it will be at some point that I'll get them on the podcast, because we had a good chat, and he's a good dude. It's a good shout out to Cringe God, because yeah, we were just talking about all the different ideas he had for Fight Club and stuff, which I think would be really interesting to kind of share that thought process with you guys. So I'll definitely get him on to kind of talk about it in more detail. If not, he'll send me him talking about it, and I'll put it in this pod, because it is a really interesting listen, actually, because I do enjoy kind of hearing your guys' ideas and stuff like that, and also kind of another thing he did was open me up to a lot of not new feds, but a lot of different feds on the YouTube and Instagram and all that. So definitely someone with a good creative mind, and I'm very happy that they're one of the patrons. But of course, I'll get through to the other patron shouts out later on. I enjoy making all of you guys' matches and stuff of that nature. But we've got so what would we start with usually? What I'm working on. So what I'm working on this week was NLW Ruthless, and now I've got kind of a date set in stone for this. It will be the Raw, it will be the Raw after WrestleMania, where the actual series starts, which is what? Yeah, the 4th of April is when I'm planning on releasing the first episode of NLW Ruthless, so that'll be a Ruthless Aggression Raw, and as I've said before, it's a take on the Raw Rebook series. However, it uses the Ruthless Aggression arenas and all of that stuff, with the Jax figures. So it's me kind of not rebooking, but kind of my take on the Ruthless Aggression era and doing those kind of matches. And I've started filming some SmackDown episodes with the SmackDown Fist stage, and oh my god, I'm having so much fun doing it. This is one of the most fun series I've ever made, and I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing it, because it's unlike the Raw Rebooked series. It's actually not full matches, but match closing moments, so they'll last between a minute and 2 minutes, so it feels like its own pick fed, which I think is really cool, and I'm looking forward to you guys seeing it. The plan with the upload schedule on that, I'm probably going to have 1 week where on Monday and Friday it's Raw and SmackDown for NLW Ruthless, and then the next week no NLW Ruthless, and then again, so it's fortnightly basically, just so that I don't burn out with this series like I did Raw and SmackDown Rebooked. But a couple of other notes on what I'm working on. I'm writing a bunch of videos for an NLW house show that's going to be coming out. There's also going to be a Road to Metal Wrestling special, and a little bit of an update on that. I've moved the date of Metal Wrestling from the 2nd of April, which is the same day as NXT and WrestleMania Night 1, so I thought I'll move that to a week later, and it also gives me more time to work on it, so that's something that I'm looking forward to you guys seeing. In terms of writing for that, I've gotten a couple of matches written. I've written out Cody versus Cena, I've written out Punk and Liger, and that's going to be what I'm going to be filming very soon, probably this week, towards the end of this week. And I've also bought a new TNA entrance stage, so the guy on Instagram, very, very good work that they've done. If I can kind of shout them out, not that it'll, I just want to give them kind of credit. It's KS Stages is what their branding is. Carlos 18 UK on eBay. They print off the extreme sets for people, and they kind of build them up in the UK and flat pack them, so you can use them in, whatever, because I'm not great at DIY and stuff of that nature. So to have it kind of sent flat pack to me for a decent price as well is very helpful for me personally to kind of build that. And yeah, so it's like a TNA entrance stage, and it really I'm going to use that now for Metal Wrestling because I feel like A, it's easier to put up than the last stage, and B, it looks so cool just in terms of like the presentation and everything. And I really want to get that kind of TNA 2007 feel for the new Metal Wrestling episode. So that's why I'm going to be using it going forward, and I can't wait to show you guys. So that will be coming out in a video, and I'll also be showing off the SmackDown Fist stage I made. You may have seen a couple of posts on Instagram where I've made the Raw and SmackDown arenas. So I've used stuff from like everything from Wrestleistic printouts to WWF figuration, crowd printouts, and kind of put in like a red and blue filter over them to make them more unique to both shows. And I've got like a bunch of stills and stuff that I've kind of incorporated the TV screen with the Jax stages. So a really really cool series that I'm looking forward to you guys seeing. In terms of other stuff, like just kind of pottering away with a bunch of kind of behind the scenes videos and things like that. So yeah, I've kind of not taken a break, but after NLW 102, usually after an NLW episode, I like to take like a couple of days to just kind of do not nothing, but just kind of ease back on the filming a little bit. And today I'm actually going to be filming the next episode of NLW 24/7, and I do want to talk about that kind of briefly because it's kind of it's an idea for a video I've been wanting to do for a while. But what it is, at the end of last NLW 24/7's episode, you saw Kenny Omega and Finn Balor try and go after Brock Lesnar. So in the episode coming out on Wednesday, you'll see that kind of progress. And then as the episode progresses, more and more people are going to come into this kind of arena and try and take the title. And it's going to be all in one shot. So it's not going to be a bunch of different skits. Well, there might be another skit in there somewhere. I'm not sure. We'll see how long the actual segment is. But it's going to be following the camera like continuously. So where the people are going to kind of cross over, and it's kind of like a one-shot deal. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out, and I'm interested to hear what you guys think about that video, because it's certainly one of the more interesting ones that I've done in quite a while. So that's something I'm planning on doing very soon, and I'll probably start filming that after I've done this podcast actually. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I'm working on. We'll move on now to like wrestling figure news, because there were some reveals at Comic-Con somewhere in America. I'm trying to figure out where it might have been, but if we kind of type in ringside here, because I know that they've got a bunch of stuff that they showed off recently. So this was at the, I think it was like a toy fair somewhere. So we got a sneak preview of Elite 95 Jimmy Uso, I should say. And this one looks kind of more like Jey Uso in a way with the hair, which is a bit odd. But I do like the black pants on this guy. So that's something that's interesting to see. We also saw an Edge prototype custom. The rubber arms I'm not a massive fan of, but it does look like from the photos that they can kind of bend down. So at least you can kind of animate them moving up with like the rotatable sleeves, which, is better than nothing. But again, I'd rather they just had like a cloth jacket. I don't know how difficult that is to make though. For display purposes though, it looks sick. And this is one that I'm like 100% going to pick up when I get that. So that's something I'm looking forward to. And even this Stephanie McMahon is pretty cool. Like, I think this was a WWE ringside event in Fort Worth, it says. So yeah, this Stephanie McMahon looks pretty cool too. So there's a bunch of cool figures, and that Edge head scan looks really nice. And they also showed off these Ruthless Aggression figures. So you got the Brock Lesnar with the Undisputed Championship. Obviously, we've already got kind of a Brock similar to that, but this one will have the double joints and maybe a bit of a weird-looking head scan, but I digress. The one I'm really looking forward to out of this set is the Shawn Michaels, the WrestleMania 23 with the red pants. So that's one that I've been wanting for a very long time, and anything 2007 era-ish is a figure that I usually pick up instantly. Speaking of, I'm actually in the process of making a CM Punk custom AEW Unrivaled, but it's his 2006 gear, so his yellow tights and his red ones as well from when he first came in. So here we go. We got another Ruthless Aggression figure here. Batista, that's another must get for me. Again, I'll say I was a massive fan of Batista. Not necessarily how he was booked in the past couple of years, but I'm still like big fan of the guy. Think he's great. So yeah, just a couple of figure reveals there, but still some interesting stuff on display. And I want to know what the MSK figures are going to look like, because I'm maybe the only person in existence who actually is wanting to pre-order those. But I really want MSK and NLW like immediately. So I'm kind of cooling off on the pre-orders at the moment, but that is definitely one that I want to buy. But yeah, so that's all that is for figure news. In terms of wrestling news, there is some big wrestling news. Of course, on Dynamite, we saw Thunder Rosa finally become the Women's World Champion against Britt Baker in a bloody match. And that was, I liked it a lot. There were some sloppy moments in it maybe, but still the story was there, and I'm just happy that Thunder Rosa got her big win finally. It's long overdue, and I just hope that she can have a long reign with it, because I'm a massive fan of Thunder Rosa. Britt's reign, it was good at one point, but then it's obviously petered off a lot recently. Not necessarily down to her, I just think it's just bad booking really with the women's division, as we've seen in AEW for a long time, and they've got so many talented women, but yeah, just giving them the airtime seems to be a struggle for them for some reason. But we'll see what happens with Thunder Rosa's reign. I hope she has a good one. And in AEW, is there any real other news? Not really. I mean, I guess you can say that the Mox and Bryan storyline is continuing on, and the Wardlow stuff as well is interesting, with MJF kind of messing with him. And other than that, like, not really a lot. I mean, you got the Jericho Appreciation Society with the sports entertainer gimmick. I think it's quite funny. I do believe that maybe the obvious WWE kind of bashing is maybe a little bit too on the nose, but I still think it's a fun gimmick. And like Jericho being like the kind of rich guy who's made his money and has like a certain viewpoint of wrestling, I think that really clashes with the AEW kind of ethos. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses. It's cool that Jericho can continue to reinvent himself as we go along. So very much self-aware in many ways. But we'll see what happens there. And we'll see what happens with Cody Rhodes. Has he debuted on Raw by the time this podcast comes out? We will see. Probably not, but you never know. Obviously, I'm recording this Monday morning, so the podcast comes up on YouTube on Tuesday night. So by that time, Cody could have appeared on Raw. Who knows? But we'll see what happens there. Also, Austin apparently in great shape, allegedly. So maybe he'll have like an extended brawl with Owens at WrestleMania, which would be fun. And I do want to talk about the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns segment on SmackDown, where Lesnar just drove the forklift into the car of Roman Reigns. I thought that was sick. Really fun segment, and oh my god, I love the build to this. I really enjoy it. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but because I'm not really like keeping up with the discourse about WWE storylines, because I'm not really watching the product, but I will from time to time keep up with certain segments and stories, and this is one that I'm keeping up with. And yeah, third time's the charm, man. Like, they're finally getting it right, and I really hope that the match delivers. It would be a shame if it was kind of slow and plodding like it has been in the past, but I think that if they go 100 miles a minute, I think it'd be a great main event. Really looking forward to it. And I don't know, man, seeing Lesnar be so over as a face, I can't help but feel he should beat Roman. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you need to give the rub to someone who's on the roster like full time rather than Brock. Although Brock, to be fair, he's been putting in his hours recently, so fair play. But yeah, that's all that's going on in terms of wrestling, really. Pat McAfee as well, great promo as always. And the Johnny Knoxville stuff as well, I'm quite digging. So yeah, like this WrestleMania card, it's looking all right. It's looking all right. And the Edge, AJ stuff, like Edge debuting with a new theme song as well. I love it so much. I think that, yeah, keeping with the Alter Bridge theme, but a different kind of variant is really, really cool. And I'll give Edge my wrestler of the week because seems like he's doing some evil stuff at the moment, and I'm digging that quite a lot. And match of the week, obviously, is going to be Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker inside the steel cage. Although I did hear from Cringe God when we had our little chat, because poor guy watched all the wrestling this week, but sadly not enough time to be on the podcast. That's my fault, though. I do apologise. Just time constraints and stuff. He says that he very much enjoyed the triple threat tag match on Raw. So the week prior, I believe it might have been last week, it might have been the week before. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So that's our thoughts on it. I think that as I said for Cringe God, I'll hope to get him on the podcast next week, if not the week after. But we'll see, because I am out of town, so we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, so Thunder and Britt, obviously match of the week. The spots were cool, the story was cool, the emotion when Thunder won was very, very nice to see. So that is my match of the week. And I know it's quite a short podcast this week. I want to get filming to NLW 24/7, but before I do that, let's talk about the story about me being hacked, because that was something that I mentioned at the start of this video, and I want to kind of tell you what's been happening with that, because I almost forgot to even include it. I've just been wanting to forget about it. So yeah, essentially I got a message from a guy that has followed me on Instagram for a while, and this is how they get them. Like, this is a textbook thing. It was like, it took me a few hours to make. I hope you enjoy it. And I was like, I don't know, alarm bells right then should have been turning off, because it was a link. And then I was like, okay, this is odd. Why wouldn't you just say what it is? And you know, not having seen it before, I was like, yeah, I'll click on it. And then it's it had like a fake Instagram page where it got you to log in your details. So yeah, I was like, yeah, on board. I want to see what this is. I'm going to verify my details. I did think it was odd at first, but do you know what? I just entered my password because I'm a silly little dumbass. I entered my password into it, and then it was just like a spam website with do you want to win £750? And I was so tired last night, right? I'm going to set the stage, all right? It was 2 a.m. and I'd just come home from work, and I was like, damn, this is pretty nice that someone's done this for me. I have that much of an ego that I thought, yeah, someone's like done something to win me like 750 quid. And then I click on it, and then it's just a bunch of survey questions, and eventually it's like, do you want to sign up for this sort of thing? And I was like, no, what is this? So I just closed it down, and then like 2 seconds later, I was like, I didn't think that I was hacked. I was like, I'm just going to type this into Safari. I'm just going to see where it goes. So I typed the address in. Again, same thing happened. Asked me to verify my login details. And I'm like, I already did this. I'm not going to do it again. So I went and I saw a Reddit thread of this scam where they'll get your password by putting up this fake profile, and then try and, I don't know, infect your phone or whatever it is, and then they'll hack your Instagram, and then they'll start sending messages on your behalf to friends in your friend list. So I think that's what this happened to this guy, unfortunately for them, that they were hacked, and they had their link shared to people. So that's what happened there, and that's why I wanted to put it out on Instagram, that I was like, oh shit, I'm this close to like losing my my account again, and that would have been horrible, and that would have put me in a real bad mood. So yeah, I looked up and I was like, oh, this is a scam. So I changed my passwords immediately. I've locked my account down. I'm like, I am keeping eyes on it like a hawk. I am not letting that out of my sight. So multiple security, like, dude, I don't even know my password now, so don't try me. Don't try me, please. I beg you. But yeah, that was very, very difficult. Oh man, I can't believe I fell for it though. I'm a grown ass man, and I fell for something so stupid and so obviously a scam. Why would you put your details into something that's not an official website? I don't know. Why would it ask you to log in again? I don't know. I thought it was some sort of authentication thing. Again, my tired brain at 2 a.m. wasn't working, and I was like this close to getting hacked. And luckily, I spotted it, because obviously I could have slept on it. I could have gone to bed, thought nothing of it, and woken up and been like, hold on a minute, and woken up to my account just being gone or taken over. That would have been the absolute worst. And I'm just, oh man, I'm grateful in one way, but in another way, I'm just so disappointed in myself that I would fall for something so obviously stupid and fake. And I got a bunch of messages from people saying that they've had the same thing happen to them, and they've done the same thing, put their password in, and it's just obviously never put your password in on a website you don't trust unless you're going to that website. Like, if you click a link and they ask you your password for something, don't do it. Don't be as stupid as me. That is the moral of this story. But yeah, that's my little rant over. It made me feel so sick and anxious. I'm just happy that I clocked onto it before anything worse happened. Oh my god, man! And this isn't like a kind of plea to target me for stupid stuff. Like, I'm on my game now. I'm on the ball. I'm not letting anything get past these eyes now. I'm trying my best. But yeah, very scary situation. But just happy that I got my account back, and I never had it taken away, thank God. But we've got a lot in terms of NLW updates. So we'll move on to something on the lighter note. NLW updates. What is coming in the pipeline this week? Well, tomorrow, if you're watching this on YouTube, on Wednesday, NLW 24/7 airs. It will be an episode where it is just one long shot. So there's going to be Brock Lesnar being chased by a bunch of different challengers. There's going to be a lot to be setting up for the next NLW 24/7 event, which I'll reveal on that episode. It's an interesting thing I'm trying here with just like one shot where people like kind of cross paths, and the camera follows different people throughout the episode and they travel across the arena. So that's something that I want you guys to hopefully watch tomorrow. That'll be coming out Wednesday. This Thursday, I'll be showing a video here on this NLW Figs channel of the SmackDown Fist Arena that I've made. On Friday, I'm reviewing some Ring of Honor figures, just to tell you what my thoughts on them are. This Saturday, Metal Wrestling presents The Road to the Combat Zone, which will be a preview of April 9th's premiere episode of Metal Wrestling. So that'll feature a bunch of news about a bunch of different matches. So stay tuned for that. And then the week after is when NLW Ruthless will start. But that's all the NLW updates in terms of what's coming out soon. I'm working on a bunch of different stuff as well, including for the Patreon, where I'm trying to get a special Backlash card out to you by this week. I'm going to try and hopefully commentate on it today and get that out to you guys on Patreon this week. And we go on to the Patreon shouts out just before I answer my question of the week. So once again, massive thank yous here to Clarence Morris III, John, Cringe God, Remy Montoya, Anthony Hill, Brady Babcock, Brandon Furman, Casey Hellschool, Cupid, Devon Downlin, Flynn Lampkin, Cameron Joyner, PTW Animations, Ryan McCarthy, ES Productions, Outros World, and Kid Zap. Thank you all for being patrons on the Patreon. I really appreciate your support, and I'm just very glad and fortunate for you guys as always. So thank you very, very much. And now we'll move on to our question of the week. So we still got a bunch of questions that I need to get through. I implore you to give me more questions in the comments below if you've got any. So let's move on to another question. And since poor Cringe God couldn't be on the Patreon today, I figured, you know what, I'll answer their question of the week. And it is a thought of... Let's pick one, because there are a bunch of questions here that they got, and they were quite interesting. And it says, your thoughts... Oh, here's a controversial one. Your thoughts on Dave Meltzer. Here we go. Dave Meltzer is a very controversial figure. He splits opinion in a lot of circles. My opinion on the guy is, I think, for the most part, his reporting is accurate. I think that it's kind of a misconception that he gets a lot of things wrong. I know that there's kind of a meme that's like, plans change. But to be honest, I think that plans, in terms of like plans changing, it does happen a lot, and he's I think people calling him like an AEW shill or like a New Japan shill, it's like one guy's opinion, and I think he's got a valid opinion from having watching wrestling for a long time, and I don't think that maybe some people kind of take that into account, is that he has been covering wrestling and he has got a lot of connections in the business to to be able to write about it. Even if he's not been a wrestler himself, I know a lot of wrestlers do kind of respect his opinion because he has watched a lot of wrestling. He's very knowledgeable. That said, I think that other people tend to hold his opinion in too high regard. Like, to quote, like, star ratings and stuff. Like, he gave Hogan Andre, like, what, -5 stars or something like that? -3 stars? And obviously that's one of the most iconic matches of all time. And wrestling's not all about work rate. So, but I think people fail to realize that that it's just one guy's opinion. You know, it shouldn't be taken as gospel. Like the 5-star stuff. If you thought that, for instance, like Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania was 5 stars, then that's well within your right. You shouldn't hold his opinion above anyone else's, really. So, and I think that, you know, sometimes he has a tendency to ramble and maybe he's a little bit insensitive. I know he said some some questionable stuff about like women in the past, like, you know, just kind of talking about that. But I think, so I'm kind of split. I think I'm not a fan of the guy, I can't say that, but I think that wrestling fans tend to probably hate on him too much when there's a bunch of people in the wrestling sphere that you should probably direct your anger towards more than him, because he's just a reporter at the end of the day. Like he's got the scoops, not to like meme it again, but he's I think he's more knowledgeable than people give him credit for. But at the same time, I think that, to be honest, I think the people that hold his opinion in too high regard are actually the people that hate him. Because the fact that people get so angry about like him rating a match lower than they expect, like they're putting that opinion of his on a pedestal, and I don't think that it should be on a pedestal. I think it's just an opinion that should be taken with a pinch of salt, as everything is. You know, so. Yeah, I'm not really like listening to the Wrestling Observer that often. In terms of like Meltzer and stuff, I'm not reading the newsletter and stuff. So it is incredibly smarky. And I kind of try and stay away from that kind of IWC kind of, you know, that kind of always complaining side of the wrestling sphere now. Just because I want to be positive, really, and enjoy my wrestling. I don't really want to harp on the negative stuff too often. Clipping me saying something negative on this podcast. But yeah, so Meltzer, not a massive fan of the guy, but I don't hate him either, to be honest. I think he's just doing his job. But yeah, people, stop holding his opinion in high regard. It's just an opinion. All right, there you go. So that's an interesting question to end it on. But what do you think about my answer? Let me know in the comments below. And what do you think about everything I've said in this podcast? Also, let me know in the comments below. And also comment below if you've got any questions for a future question of the week. I might answer it in the next episode. But that's it from me. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys later.